Welcome everyone to another episode of The Asylum with Harley and Joker. I'm your host Harley, as always joined by Joker himself.
Yes, the infamous Joker is back with his new evil pet, Robin. Or Cardinal, or where the fuck it is. Two babies apparently fell out of the nest.
Well, that sucks. Okay, give me 1 second.
That's right, folks.
Okay.
Rehabbing some birds.
So tonight is our paranormal episode, and this is Joker's episode.
Yep, it's a paranormal episode, folks, which means that King Joker is the king. What about you
It's
two?
like,
You
so
two
I-
ready to see some? You two ready to see some interesting pictures?
Yes, we are.
So funny. Yeah, this is all you, so I'm going to let you take it over.
Well, folks, you know, I'm a paranormal expert, so I really didn't want to do the research for this because I would not be able to. I'd be too judgmental on what I'm picking. So I sent my novice associate out there, Harley, into the wild, see if she can capture some live footage of Bigfoot. And I'm kind of curious to see what she came up with. So let's.
It's like I know two of the pictures for sure. I just threw in to throw them in because, well, I know they're not real pictures.
What do you say, Batman? What do you say, Robin? You want to see some Bigfoot?
Yes, Daddy.
Ew. Fucking thing is pooped in my hand.
Well, that's what the birds do.
You little shitter. Yes, you are, little shitter. Yes, you are. Bring the first picture up.
It's supposed to be like over here.
I could see it. I mean, damn, these people trying to catch pictures of me naked in the woods, like Jesus. But you know, that one, I could see that being real. That's a lot of the pictures we get of Bigfoot are side or back shots because it's normally believed that they're ultra terrestrial and that they will hide or make themselves go invisible or go back through a portal if they are caught. Yeah, I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, but I'm right. Yes, I am.
I know that's probably fake.
Yeah, that looks fake. I mean, yeah, it looks fake as shit. I mean, it looks fake as shit. It's probably a statue or some guy in a costume, honestly. That one, at least.
That one,
what do you think?
Possibly.
I don't know. I mean, it's giving me Patterson Gremlin film vibes, but I mean, I don't know. It's blurry enough where it could be real. Ain't that right, Batman?
Lonnie Sanchez is joining us. Hello, Lonnie. Haven't seen you on here in a while. How are you doing? And I know this one's fake, but I always love this picture because it's one of my favorites that they always put out there for Bigfoot.
Ooh, folks, we have caught Harley in the wild.
And then there's this one of what they said was his foot imprint.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe because of the clay or mud composite, but I mean, usually they have more of a toe feature than that one does. Ain't that right? Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. Did you put that arrow in or they?
They did.
Oh, I mean,
I didn't put that arrow in there.
I don't know. I could definitely see that possibly being real. I mean, people forget how big these things are. They really are big. Yes, they are. Oh, you guys kissing?
You got a
Yeah.
sprained ankle, Lonnie? Well, I hope you're okay. Okay, and then another one I know is fake. I could get my iced coffee right there.
Look at Harley strutting her stuff on the wall. Jesus.
That one they kind of circled it to where they thought it was.
Oh, yeah. See, that is common Bigfoot behavior right there, hiding in the bushes like that. Right? You guys probably see him when you get bigger and you fly out in the wild. Yes, you will. You got something to say, Batman? Huh? You got something to say? Didn't we see that? Yeah, I know. We just saw that one. I heard you. Ah. Oop. That went off. I don't know how I feel about that one. It looks fake. It looks like a freaking AI or drawn image, to me at least. Come back to daddy. Yeah, I mean that one could be real. I could see that. I could see that one being real. At least you shit in the floor that time, not me. Yeah, I know. And Lonnie, I agree. I do look like a little bit like a Bigfoot. I mean, I had to shade to fit in society, find a wife, and all that good stuff. That one, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what that's. I mean, that one looks a little too. I don't know. That could be a dog man, honestly. That might not even be a Bigfoot. Harley, why am I the only one giving opinions here? Give your opinions. Oh, nobody. Hold on. There you go. I don't know what the hell that is. That's way too blurry to be even tell. Yeah, I know. Right? Right, Batman? What do you think, Robin? Yeah, Batman? Yeah, I agree. Y'all are busy.
Researchers have been trying to communicate with Bigfoot. But have you ever wondered who he is trying to communicate with? These audio recordings might just answer that question. September 13th, 2009, just south of Wright, Minnesota. A group of men set out to investigate a series of Bigfoot sightings, and upon hearing the sounds of a bizarre vocalization in the dark, they hit record. Their recordings capture a series of howls thought to be made by an alleged Bigfoot. Listen for the intermittent knocks and whoops that conclude each howl. Now listen as it sounds like wolves or coyotes have joined in the fun. Field researcher Cliff Barrickman wonders if we might be hearing a rare form of conversation.
The research community have noted for decades that there seems to be a connection between coyotes and Sasquatches. A lot of people were saying maybe the coyotes are following the Sasquatches around and waiting for scraps after the Sasquatch kills a deer or something like that. I think it's the opposite.
Barrickman thinks that what we might be hearing is behavior modeled on a more surprising animal, ancient humans.
Human ancestors used to have a foraging strategy called power scavenging. Our ancestors would wait for other animals to take down their prey and then scare away the hyenas or lions just long enough for us to grab some meat and run away with it. Wouldn't that make sense, Sid, that the Sasquatches would utilize the same strategies as human ancestors did?
But what about the knocks? Barrickman thinks that could be something like a Sasquatch Morse code.
It has been noted that Sasquatches make something that we now call wood knocks, and quite possibly they are communicating with one another. There's precedence in the other great apes. A very high-profile study was published about gorillas in Rwanda clapping when researchers enter their area, apparently to warn the other troop members. There's no reason to think that
Hey, look,
Sasquatches
it's
would do the same
Jeremy.
thing.
Yeah.
In 2010, a man claimed that a Bigfoot came to him while hunting in North Carolina, attracted by his coyote calls. He says he managed to shoo it away with a stick and something he called rough talking. So maybe Bigfoot does have some long-standing history with coyotes. Let's see what our experts think. We turn to our resident Bigfoot expert, renowned anatomist and anthropologist, Jeff Meldrum.
One aspect of this recording that I do find intriguing is wood knocks. The problem with these types of recordings is you don't know what is making that sound. It could be the recorder himself, but the initial vocalizations I found much more interesting. All the evidence that we have to date suggests that Sasquatch is omnivorous, that it eats everything from roots and berries up to deer and elk. Therefore, it's possible that there is some sort of communication occurring between Sasquatch and these wolves to take advantage of the hunting skills of one another.
However, wildlife biologist Stephanie Shuttler wonders if wolves or coyotes aren't responsible for all the howls in this recording.
When I listened to this the first time, I had a hard
I
time
thought it
distinguishing
kind of sounded
what
like wolves and coyotes
sounds
themselves.
people thought were the Bigfoot sounds. To me, it all sounded wolf-like. Towards the end, there's some coyotes. There's actually been studies on people estimating coyote size just based on how loud it is, and they pretty much always overestimate. So just because it's a large vocalization doesn't mean it's necessarily from a large animal.
With that, we go to soundscape ecologist Ben Gottesman for his opinion on how.
Joker, so what is your opinion on that? Does it sound like wolves and coyotes to you, or could it possibly be?
Let them rest. They could die.
I mean, I've heard of a lot of different howlings of Bigfoots. I've heard a lot of different wood knockings. There are some horrifying ones out there that'll make your whole spine light up. But I mean, it's the coyote thing's a new thing to me. Usually they say the forest is completely silent, that's when you know that Bigfoot's near. Like if all the birds stop, if all like any cryptid, like if all the animals stop making noise, the crickets, the birds, they know the alpha is around, and that's usually a Bigfoot or a dogman. But we'll get to that on a later episode. But I mean, Bigfoot howlings. I mean, that the noise you're hearing in that. I mean, it sounds like Bigfoot just got done getting lucky. But
Okay, let's see what this person had to say
How
about
these
the
sounds
recordings.
compare to known wolf vocalizations.
The frequency range matches quite well. The big difference is that wolves usually howl for pretty long periods of time, whereas all of the howls in this recording are quite short.
And that leads Gottesman to an important discovery.
So I found a number of instances here where the clips were just cut midway through. So did you hear that? It completely cuts off and then starts up again. Those might have been wolf and coyote howls, but they were heavily edited to create what sounds like a much weirder creature.
Our verdict?
Okay, so Shannon said that she studied Bigfoot. They never find scat because they rub it into their fur. That's why they smell so bad.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because I recently heard about a female scientist out of California who was studying the different urine deposits in a lake or pond, something like that. And they found all the, known animals that they would think they would. But they found an example of a animal that has never been identified before. And, I mean, only points to one thing, but
Hmm. I mean, I don't really know much about Bigfoot or any of that, so
I
this
mean,
is
in
all
Bigfoot
your
scat,
stuff.
I believe Bigfoot scat has been found. I just believe it's misidentified as bear scat, so they really don't look into it too much. 'Cause I'm sure they leave about the same size, massive dumps, and but I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Batman? Robin went back into her basket, but what do you think?
It is. I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
In a surprising move, the US government has shared photos that they claim show Bigfoot. These pictures have caused a big stir, getting people excited and curious about the legendary creature. The photos, released this morning, show a large, hairy figure walking through a forest, looking
Remember
just
when
like the
that was
Bigfoot
shared?
described in many stories. But is it
They
real,
did
or
that
just
on
another
your show.
government mystery to add to the pile? Let's find out. The legend of Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, has been part of North American folklore for centuries. The name Bigfoot comes from the large footprints often attributed to this mysterious creature. Bigfoot is typically described as a large, hairy, human-like being that roams the forests. Stories of Bigfoot can be traced back to the early settlers of North America. These pioneers often reported seeing a huge, man-like creature in the woods. They found large footprints and heard strange noises at night. These early sightings laid the groundwork for the Bigfoot legend we know today. Before European settlers arrived, Native American tribes had their own stories and legends about Bigfoot. Many tribes had different names for this creature. For example, the Salish people called it Sasquatch, which means wild man. The Iroquois referred to it as Otne Yarhe, or stone giant. In these Native American legends, Bigfoot was often seen as a spiritual being with supernatural powers. It was respected and feared. Some tribes believed that Bigfoot could move between the physical and spiritual worlds. These stories were passed down through generations, adding to the mystique and mystery surrounding Bigfoot. As time went on, more and more people claimed to have encountered Bigfoot. One of the most famous early encounters happened in 1958, when a construction worker named Jerry Crew found giant footprints at a work site in California. He made a plaster cast of the prints, which caught the attention of the media. This event brought the name Bigfoot into the national spotlight. In 1967, a short film clip known as the Patterson-Gimlin film became one of the most famous pieces of Bigfoot evidence. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin filmed what they claimed was a female Bigfoot walking along a creek in Northern California. The shaky footage shows a large, hairy creature striding through the forest. Despite many attempts to debunk it, the film remains one of the most debated pieces of Bigfoot evidence. Another notable encounter occurred in the 1980s when Paul Freeman, a U.S. Forest Service patrolman, reported seeing Bigfoot in the Blue Mountains of Washington. Freeman also found large footprints and collected hair samples. His encounters reignited.
Was that what you were talking about their feet? There's more like
Yeah,
toe form.
usually the toes are more outlined. And Shannon is right. They do know about ovulation and menstruation. Like, there's the whole Bride of the Wood. It's. I mean, they know all about that because they have the whole legend of the Bride of the Woods, who is humans, females that breed with Bigfoot supposedly. I mean, you know, for you size queens, it sounds like a good plan. Go out there and look for one. But and yeah, Native Americans. So many Native American legends about these creatures. Some tribes said that they would trade with hairy men of the mountains who would come down and trade with them. Other ones said that there were big hairy giants who would come down and take their women and children to eat them or do other mischievous things with them. Yeah, you catch my drift here. I mean, who don't want no Bigfoot? Who wants some Bigfoot dick? I mean, there's so much, and every country in the world has their own legends of Bigfoot or some similar creature. So that right there should tell you something. These things don't just come out of nowhere. These legends don't just form all over the world with the same types of legends. I mean, the Yeti slash abominable snowman. I hate that fucking word. The Yowie in Australia. There's South American one. South America has their own versions of it. Japan has their own version of it. China has their own version of it. They do in the Middle East too, in the mountains. So I mean, and yes, I
Ignited
mean,
interest in Bigfoot and spurred further research and expeditions.
what I was gonna say is Shannon's not wrong. I mean, just like any animal, when they when they sense ovulation, they come running, just like us. Just like the King Joker and his fellow men.
Okay.
These early sightings and famous encounters have kept the legend of Bigfoot alive for decades. Each story adds another piece to the puzzle, making us wonder if this mysterious creature really exists. Now, with the US government releasing new photos of Bigfoot, the legend takes an even more intriguing turn. The government's involvement brings a new level of credibility to the Bigfoot mystery. Why would they release these photos now? What do they show? Are they real, or is there another explanation? These questions are at the forefront of everyone's minds. The government's interest in Bigfoot and other cryptids, mysterious creatures, isn't new. Cryptids like Bigfoot have fascinated people for centuries, and this fascination has caught the attention of various government agencies over time. Though it might seem surprising, there have been several instances where government officials have shown curiosity about Bigfoot. Back in the 1970s, there was a rise in Bigfoot sightings across the United States. This increase in reports led to more public interest, and the government couldn't ignore it. Officials in different states started to keep records of these sightings. Some states even considered creating laws to protect Bigfoot in case it was a real endangered species. One notable example is the state of Washington. In 1970, Washington's Department of Wildlife looked into Bigfoot reports seriously. They considered classifying Bigfoot as an endangered species, which shows that the government was willing to consider the possibility of Bigfoot's existence. Over the years, several government documents related to Bigfoot and other cryptids have surfaced. These documents reveal that the government has been quietly collecting information on Bigfoot for decades. In 1976, the FBI even analyzed hair samples that some people believed were from Bigfoot. The results were inconclusive, but the fact that the FBI was involved shows that there was official interest in these mysterious creatures. Another example is the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. which allows the public to request access to government documents. Through FOIA requests, enthusiasts and researchers have obtained various documents that mention Bigfoot. These documents include reports of sightings, letters from citizens to government officials, and internal memos discussing how to handle Bigfoot inquiries. One interesting document from the 1980s reveals that the U.S. Forest Service had received multiple reports of Bigfoot sightings. The document includes a letter from a park ranger who reported seeing a large, hairy creature in the forest. The Forest Service took these reports seriously enough to keep records and correspond with the individuals who made the sightings. So, why did the government decide to release new photos of Bigfoot now? This question has sparked a lot of speculation and debate. There are several possible reasons for this sudden disclosure. Firstly, the release could be part of a larger effort to be more transparent with the public. In recent years, there has been a growing demand for government transparency, especially regarding unexplained phenomena. By releasing these photos, the government might be trying to show that they are not hiding information and are open to sharing what they know. Secondly, advances in technology could play a role. With the development of better cameras, drones, and other surveillance equipment, the government might have obtained clearer and more compelling evidence of Bigfoot. This new technology could have provided the government with more confidence in the authenticity of the photos, prompting them to share the images with the public. Another possible reason is public interest. Bigfoot has always been a popular topic, and the recent surge in interest in cryptids, thanks in part to TV shows and documentaries, could have influenced the government's decision. By releasing the photos, they are tapping into this public fascination and possibly encouraging more research and exploration. Lastly, it's possible that the release is intended to distract from other issues. Governments sometimes release information to divert attention from more pressing matters. While this is purely speculative, it is a possibility that some people consider. To give you a sense of how the government has historically approached the topic of cryptids,
Which, I mean, the government knows damn well that Bigfoot exists. There is, what the fuck's it called? There's a place in Washington that Small Town Monsters went and filmed at, where it's all these huge nest-like structures, and they assume it was Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it. There's a famous legend of during a forest fire out west somewhere, Bigfoot came stumbling, burned out of the woods, and an ambulance came. They put it in the back of the ambulance. They drove away. Neither of those ambulance driver workers or the ambulance was ever heard from again. Everybody assumes that government stopped them about a mile down the road and said, "Nope, you're coming with us to a secret facility." And most likely they killed the two workers and got rid of the bodies, but who knows?
That's kind of crazy, but that's how things work.
I mean, the government knows. The government knows. I mean, there are literally state parks that have signs that say, "Do not feed Bigfoot. Do not do not kill Bigfoot. Do not try to. Bigfoot will get if you entice it. It will attack." Like, there's all these reports of it. I mean, the most interesting Bigfoot story I ever heard was on Monsters Among Us podcast, and it was called in by a guy named Mac from Alabama. And basically, Mac was in a hunting blind, deer hunting, and he fell out of his blind a good 20, 30 feet to the ground, whatever it was. His back was very messed up, and he all of a sudden heard things around him. And then next thing he knows, he's being picked up by a huge hairy figure, and she starts, well, this creature brought him up to his chest, and she started to breastfeed him. And the whole time he heard like her hooting and hollering at something else in the woods behind him. He couldn't see what it was, but he fully believes that it was a Bigfoot that breastfed him. He could see it clearly. Said it was the worst tasting thing he ever had in his mouth. And doctors, when his family found him later that night, and they brought him to the hospital and everything, his back cured faster than any doctor has ever seen. So these could be are they extraterrestrials? Are they ultra-terrestrials? Are they just creatures of a time from before ours? I mean, of course I'm gonna forget it right now. God, fucking damn it. Shannon, if you're still watching, what's the word I'm thinking of? What was the subspecies of human that? What was the subspecies of human that? Gigantopithecus. Gigantopithecus was around the same time as cave people, and it's believed. And originally, it was thought that humans just killed them out, but it was originally a Bigfoot theory that the Gigantopithecus just basically said humans are over here. We go this way so we don't get killed. And they learned to hide from humans from that time on. I mean, there's multiple theories. Ultra terrestrials and Gigantopithecus, one of the two biggest ones, but there's multiple theories about where these could have came from. But yeah, so Bigfoot, they're real.
I know. I'm looking at one right now.
I mean, they don't call me Bigfoot; they call me Big something else. But you get it.
Okay, guys. We are gonna make this a early show tonight because we started late today.
And because our audience isn't asking any questions or anything, come on, people.
Like, there's 11 people watching, but nobody's saying anything.
Well, except Shannon, of course.
Well, except Shannon. Well, I guess that does it for this episode of The Asylum with Harley and Joker. Guys, tune in next week as we interview Brian Smith, I think it was, on his horror books that he writes.
Erotica, from what I see.
No, that's someone else. But his are like horror themed books. We were supposed to do that giveaway tonight. Might as well do that now since. Okay. We're going to do the giveaway for the erotica book that is posted in on the Asylum with Harley and Joker page. And let me get the wheel up for you guys so you can see who is the winner. Okay, here we go.
Spin that shit.
Okay, Lizzie Borden. I will post this on the Facebook page and I will message you to get your email so that the author can send you the link for the free book. Okay, guys, well, that does it this week for the Asylum of Harley and Joker. We will see you next week. Have a good evening, guys.